Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Tammy Doe, and today's first episode on everything you need to know about crystal energy. Probably the most important thing you need to know is water, right? It has nothing to do with crystals and stones. But here's the thing, it has everything to do with crystal energy. And so today's episode, we are going to touch base why water is probably the most important thing that you need to know before even dabbling into crystal energy. And it's probably the first thing that I've learned that made me go on this spiritual route where it just opens up a whole can of worms where I thought, oh my gosh, what did I just piece together? So if you stick around, we're going to learn so much about water that you had no idea you could have known about. Let's get started.
Audio Jungle.
What started me on this whole spiritual journey is water. And it started with Dr. Emoto. He's a famous Japanese doctor in Japan where he studied water molecules. Dr. Emoto also wrote New York Times bestseller book called Hidden Messages in Water. So if you love to read, make sure you get this book. I'm going to put the link in the bio below, so make sure you read it. It's going to blow your mind. So his first project that ever even dabbled across was called the rice water experiment. And so with this experiment, he had 3 different jars of half rice and half water. So all it really is just 3 different jars with half rice, half water, and a different label on them. And each label he would write, I love you, I hate you, and one that he completely ignored. So every day, at the beginning of the day, he would go and say, I love you to one jar, I hate you to one jar, and one he would acknowledge and just completely ignored. So after 30 days of doing this, he realized, whoa, there is something there that we have not yet pieced together yet. So take a look at these pictures as I go over them. The first jar, when he says thank you and expressed gratitude towards it, the rice started fermenting and giving off this aroma. The second jar, which he says you're an idiot to every day, and started expressing this more hateful feeling, he started noticing that mold was starting to build. And for the last jar, which he completely ignored, he started noticing that the rice started to rot. Now, all 3 jars had the same rice and water. The only difference is their intentions and his feeling towards each jar. So let's take a look. If the jar that's being ignored has the most mold, what does that tell us? It just tells us that nobody pays attention to the middle child, right? Can you imagine if the jar has the most mold, the one that's ignored? What do you think it does to us as the middle child? And do you even know that there's a Middle Child's Day? I bet you didn't. It's okay. Nobody remembers. But that's the thing. Being ignored really affects the body. So all jokes aside, but this experience completely blew my mind. And also that was a little shout out to all the middle childs out there. Dr. Emoto took it one step further and looked at these water crystals underneath a microscope. And as you can see, love and gratitude started forming a geometric shape. However, the one that says I hate you and more exuding of more of a hateful expression and feeling towards it, it started becoming more chaotic. How can just your thoughts and intentions affect your physical surrounding? So being the person I am, I kind of want to verify for myself. So I came up with 3 jars, half water, half rice, and here I am talking to my jar of rice every single night, 5 to 10 minutes each. At the end of 30 days, it checked out. And it just blew my mind. Like, how is that even possible where, nothing has changed, the environment's the same, but just our intentions, our feelings towards these jars actually change the outcome of it. And so I was like, rice is like our the meat and bones of our body, and the water is like the blood within our body. And so when we are saying negative things to ourselves or to someone else, our feelings, our intentions actually affecting them and their body. And so I know that he also did studies on music. So here I am again, being my curious self. I did an experiment on music. And Lord behold, what happened after 30 days.
What I did here was go on YouTube and found 432 hertz, which most of the time is classical music. And so 432 hertz, if you don't know what it is also the frequency of the universe, meaning everything in the universe vibrates at 432 hertz. And during the classical era, all the music they were playing was tuned into 432 hertz. And at the end of 30 days, there was no signs of mold within the rice jar. So as you can see here, all I did was set my phone next to the jar and I put on the radio. And, it could be hip hop, rock music, whatever it is, I would put on Spotify and I would just left it on next to the jar. And as you can see here, mold starting to build. And I realized, and I did a little more digging onto this, and I realized that back in the classical era, all the music was tuned into 432 hertz, which is the natural frequency of the universe. But ever since then, they changed the requirement to every music has to be tuned in at 440 hertz. And if it can cause rice to create mold, imagine what it could do to our body when we're listening to these radio music. So as you can see, several researchers did an experiment on water vibration. And so when they're tuned into 432 hertz, you can see the vibration of the water becoming more geometric. But as you can see, 440 hertz, it starts coming all together where it's not really much of a shape to it. Here's what Dr. Emoto discovered when he froze the water crystals after playing classical music to this water. And here's what Beethoven looks like. Here's Mozart, and here's rock music. Could the effect on water actually affect the growth of plants? Did you know that in Japan, the most expensive cut of meat is Kobe beef, and they let these cows listen to classical music? Could there be a reason behind that? Study shows that if you let your baby listen to classical music, it'll make your baby smarter. Why do you think that is?
That was the point where I realized, shoot, maybe I shouldn't be listening to radio music that much. And it just blew my mind on how much water affects our physical surrounding. And not only that, Dr. Emoto actually went one step further, and he let participants drink the water, two waters. One, I love you, with love words like gratitude, and one glass of water, he would say like, I hate you, all these hateful words into this second glass of water. And when participants drank it, after 10 minutes, he would take their blood and he would look at it under the microscope. And so he realized that these bloods are actually more fluid with the I love you water. However, with the I hate you water, they started clogging up. It wasn't as fluid. It didn't flow as freely as the love water.
And that brings us to the second most important thing that you need to know about water, is that water conducts electricity. And when our body is free-flowing and it's more fluid, the electricity from underneath the ground can easily travel through our blood and channel messages.
Our body is made of 70% water. And so if just our words and intentions can affect our physical surrounding, whenever you're playing these music, it either opens up your pathway for water to flow through, blood to flow through easily, or it creates chaos where water can't move through fluidly.
Our body is made of 70% water. And if our intentions, our words, even music can cause the rice to mold, which in my opinion is the bones and muscles in our body, if those negative, heavy vibrations can cause mold within the rice, what do you think it does to our body?
If you ever dabbled into water, that's the first place to start. And water sets the stage on how our intentions, how our thoughts and feelings affects our physical environment.
In the next episode, I'm going to go over how we can use water to conduct electricity from underneath the ground through meditation, yoga, and even through crystal energy to tap into our higher chakras, such as the third eye, which is our sixth sense, developing psychic abilities, and into our crown chakra, where we can start hearing guidance from higher realms. And so everything you thought you knew is going to be way out of this world. So stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you everybody who supported me throughout this journey. I hope my messages resonates with you, and if not, that's fine too. I'm no guru, I'm no teacher. This is just my personal experience from what I've experienced so far. I'm not here to tell you what to do. So I hope that throughout these videos you learn something and be able to find something within you to really connect you to your true purpose. And for those who are wondering like how I'm able to sustain myself, or how am I so brave to do all these videos and be vulnerable, is I just have one message for you. Maybe it took me having 2 near-death experiences to not really give a shit about what people think about me anymore. And I know that I'm speaking from the heart, speaking my own truth. So I'm not really here to justify myself about what others think about me. It doesn't really bother me. And I know that my message will help others figure out for themselves. And so if you're willing and able to help me, great. If not, that's fine too. If you feel like this message resonates and if it helped, feel free to support me below. Donations are welcome. Your donations will help me continue down this spiritual path, go to different sacred spots and really explain, share with you like what I feel, what I've pieced together through why these sites are so holy. And maybe you will find yourself going to these different holy spots to pray for yourself when there's like no hope out there, right? I hope this message resonates, and if you are willing and able to, donations are welcome. Thank you for those who already supported me. Truly, truly, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed my videos. Tammy Doe, signing off.